We're just weeks away from Black Friday, and as you might expect, the sales are just getting better with each week. So in the spirit of finding games at an all-time low for the holidays, today's list is going to highlight games that are at a brand new all-time low, and each one is under $10. Now is the best time of year for deals, and the eShop is home to some amazing gems. So let's take a look at a few today. Hey everyone, I'm JP, and welcome to Good Talk HQ. To the extended family, welcome back my friends. Thank you as always for hanging out with us again today. We've grown to over 4,500 now as a community, and I'm incredibly thankful. I still can't believe it. If this happens to be your first time here, thank you and welcome to the channel. We cover Nintendo Switch content every week, and we like to share the deals with our community. If you have a good time, or we help you find a deal or two, please consider subscribing to join our growing family. We'd love to welcome you into the group. Plus, on top of that, we do giveaways for eShop gift cards each month. All you have to do to enter is be subbed to the channel, leave a like on the video, and drop us a comment down below so we can find your name and add you to the list. Either way though, please stay safe out there and enjoy the video. Alright, we'll start off the list with Viviette. This is a single-player adventure-style puzzle game from DYA Games and offers roughly 4 hours of main story gameplay. In this one, players will explore a huge haunted mansion as they try to uncover the horrific secrets that it hides. You'll have to use your brain for this one though, as it's all about puzzle solving and exploration. Now be forewarned, the game does not hold your hand, and in fact it doesn't even have a map. It's just you and your trusty lamp. Oh, but you'll want to be careful how and when you decide to use the lamp, as you'll constantly be haunted by the monster. It can appear anywhere at any time, forcing you to flee. Fans of explorative horror experiences should definitely consider checking this one out before the sale ends on November 19th. It's currently marked down 50% to an all-time low of just $4.99. Next we have Circa Infinity. This is a single-player reverse platform puzzler developed by Kenny's Son and published by Red Deer Games. Now the main game will last roughly 4 or 5 hours depending on how fast you can figure out each stage. There are 5 different worlds, each that are progressively harder than the last, and I promise you by World 2, things are already chaotic. Each world has 9 levels and a main boss, for a total of 50 awesome mind-bending levels and 5 different bosses. Plus the soundtrack adds a level of depth to the gameplay and the mayhem overall, plus this game is incredibly addictive. The penalty for death is next to nothing, meaning you can keep going over and over until you master the patterns and make it to the core of each world. If you're interested in Circa Infinity, please check it out. While on sale before November 26th, it's marked down 33% to an all-time low of just $6.66. Next we have Super Magbot. This is a single-player puzzle platformer developed by Astral Pixel and published by Team 17, and honestly, due to the difficulty and the way that you have to master each level, it will take quite a while before you're done with the game. The major difference here from most platformers is that you can't actually jump and must instead use colored bounce pads to navigate through the levels. And this is the part that takes a bit to learn, but the reward that follows from the completion of each level is well worth the frustration that it takes to get there. The 16-bit aesthetic and amazing soundtrack set it to a new level, and this game is definitely worth checking out while on sale until November 19th. It's currently marked down 61% to an all-time low of just $6.99. Bite the Bullet is an action platformer from Megacat Studios and published by Graffiti Games, offering multiplayer action for up to 2 players locally, with the main story that should last a couple of hours. The major twist here is that in addition to running and gunning, you'll also have to eat your enemies, bullets, and more to upgrade your character, your weapons, and your skills. Basically, you mow down the enemies and then you have to eat the corpses to consume their energy. You can also pick between the 4 different classes to make your way through the 50 different levels in a few different ways. I love the way that what you eat can affect how your character looks. This was a cool little game and worth checking out while on sale until November 11th, marked down 75% to a new all-time low of just $3.74. Gear Club Unlimited 2 is a realistic racer, or about as close as you're gonna get here on the Switch. The game features both online and local competitive multiplayer, which is amazing since most racing games at this price point only offer local multiplayer. There are more than 250 races, several racing modes including championships, missions, and challenges. Plus, as you progress through the story, you'll build up an awesome garage of different supercars. On top of all that, the game also allows players to create and join clubs to challenge other players for different rewards. Now you start off with access to 51 amazing different cars, but again that number will grow significantly as you play. If you're looking for a good realistic online racer with a decent single player mode as well, make sure to grab up Gear Club Unlimited 2 before the sale ends on November 17th. It's marked down 85% to an all-time low of just $5.99. Next we have FORECLOSED. This is an amazing narrative-driven action adventure. As always, they seem to be set in a cyberpunk setting, but like with Encodia, the story here is well worth the asking price. The game has the look and feel of a graphic novel, and the artistic style they used really is unique and amazing to see on the Switch. They were trying to give the player the feeling of being a comic book hero as you play through, and I think they delivered on that definitely. Now along the way, players will find upgrades for their pistol that can even be combined to give you some impressive firepower. If you like narrative-driven games, make sure to check out FORECLOSED before the sale ends on November 17th. It's marked down 50% to a new all-time low of just $9.99. Next up, we have Monster Viator. This is a single-player adventure RPG developed by Hitpoint and published by Kemco with a main story that will last roughly 10 to 15 hours to wrap up. In this amazing adventure, players get to ride a dragon through an amazing pixelated world on an emotional journey along with more than 20 different monsters, all of which have unique personalities. Players have the ability to speak to monsters, and along with the aid of some of the characters that you meet along the way, you'll have to try to recover your lost memories. This game is a lot of fun, and if you like RPGs, please make sure to check it out before the sale ends on November 25th. It's marked down 40% to a new all-time low of just $8.99. Going Under is a single-player dungeon crawler with a comedic twist from publisher Team 17 and offers players around 10 hours of main story gameplay. This game features an amazing art style, and at first glance it might seem like the only thing the game has going for it, but this is a great game with witty writing and a fun gameplay loop. The story sees players assuming the role of a lowly intern at a new tech company, and it's your first day on the job. And your first assignment is to explore the dungeons below the building to protect your company campus. The gameplay loop is addictive and tough enough for hardcore fans of the genre. If you're interested in this one, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on November 19th. It's currently marked down 66% to a new all-time low of just $6.79. The Coma 2 Vicious Sisters is a single-player narrative-driven adventure published by Head Up Games and was developed by Devespresso Games with a main story that should last roughly 9 or 10 hours to wrap up. The game has a heavy emphasis on puzzle solving and sets players into a nightmarish environment full of strange creatures, dodgy strangers, and a wild cast of eerie characters. We play as a young student that finds themselves being pursued by something that vaguely resembles their teacher, and thus we set out on our adventure. Again, if you enjoy narrative-driven adventures like FORECLOSED or Encodia, make sure to check this one out before the sale ends on November 14th. It's currently marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $5.99. In Celebration of Violence is a roguelike RPG designed for up to 3 players from Dolores Entertainment and offers many hours of gameplay due to the multiplayer nature. The game features a massive world that is procedurally generated with swamps, cities, dungeons, and more. Plus it has a cool feature where the different elements will react with one another. For example, fire reacts to the weather, and electricity reacts to water, and so on. There are loads of secrets, different items, and more to find, so exploration is encouraged. One thing to note though, death is definitely permanent, but you can buy items to aid in your next run after you die, so it's not all that bad. If you're looking for a solid fantasy action RPG, make sure to check out In Celebration of Violence before the sale ends on November 25th. It's currently marked down 60% to an all-time low of just $5.19. Shing is an arcade-style beat-em-up from Mass Creation designed for up to 4 players in local multiplayer action. The game offers unlimited hours of fun and features awesome controls with an on-the-fly weapon system that's tied to the right thumbstick. This gives players quick access to the vast assortment of weapons that you'll find throughout the missions. The combat system also allows players to mix and match combos and change characters on the fly, plus you can even turn enemy abilities against them. Now the enemies are no joke and the bosses are even tougher. But again, if you're into video game punishment and you're looking for a solid challenge, make sure to check this one out before the sale ends on November 12th. It's marked down 55% to a new all-time low of just $8.99. Next we have Liberated the Enhanced Edition. This is a single-player action platformer developed by Atomic Wolf and published by Walkabout Games, offering an immersive story that should last roughly 3 or 4 hours. Now this is another game with a cool comic book aesthetic and sees players working their way through a gripping story. The Enhanced Edition added voiceovers to bring another element to the story and made enhancements in both content and gameplay. Plus on top of that, they added 2 extra chapters to the story as well. If you're interested in Liberated the Enhanced Edition, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on November 27th. It's marked down 55% to a new all-time low of just $8.99. Earthlock is a single-player adventure RPG from Snowcastle Games with a main story that could easily last more than 20 hours to wrap up. Players will form a ragtag group of heroes to rescue their loved ones from an ancient cult and uncover the secret of Earthlock. The game features fast-paced strategic turn-based combat and a great crafting system, plus there's different skill trees to follow that add some variety to each playthrough. Now there are 6 playable characters that you can switch between, and similar to Miitopia, you can form relationships between the party members for special buffs and attacks. If you're a fan of turn-based RPGs, make sure to check out Earthlock before the sale ends on November 11th. It's marked down 81% to an all-time low of just $5.68. Next up, we have Rigid Force Redux. This is a single-player arcade-style shoot-'em-up from Head Up Games and has a main story that should last players roughly 5 or 6 hours to finish up. This is a side-scrolling shooter that features handcrafted 3D models, gorgeous environments, and an exciting soundtrack. Players will have to confront and battle against swarms of enemy gunships, mechs, and giant aliens, but regardless of size, each enemy is deadly and requires planned attacks. Now if you finish up the main story or you'd rather forego that altogether, there are even some other game modes that you could check out. For me personally, I love the boss rush mode as the boss battles are extremely fun. If you're looking for a solid side-scrolling shooter, make sure to check this one out before the sale ends on November 14th. It's marked down 67% to just $6.66. Next we have Blue Fire. This is a single-player 3D action platformer from Graffiti Games and has a main story that should last roughly 15 hours or so to wrap up. Now this is a world full of platforming challenges, quests, collectibles, and more. It features a truly dark and immersive world with several distinct areas to explore, plus there are loads of secrets and collectibles to find, tough enemies to battle, and unique combat patterns that you'll have to master. Plus, the boss battles are some of the coolest bosses I've fought in a while. The stages are actually part of the challenge during these fights, which added an extra level of fun into each battle. If you're looking for a solid 3D style adventure game, make sure to check this one out. I know it's on sale a lot, but it's at a new all-time low until November 11th. It's marked down 50% to just $9.99. As always folks, here are some other games to consider checking out while you're on the eShop. If you're still here and you're having a good time, thank you as always. Please hit that like button down below. Let me know what your favorite game on the list was in the comments. Alright everyone, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks again for watching, and if you're still here, you know you're legendary. For real though, thanks for giving us some of your time again today. Please leave us a comment down below. I only ask it because it's really fun to hear from you all, and I get to chat with the community. If this was your first time on the channel, thanks again. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing if you had a good time. Plus remember, we do the eShop gift cards for our viewers each month. All you have to do to enter is just be subbed to the channel, leave us a like down below, and of course leave us a comment so we can add your name to the current giveaway list. It really does mean a lot to us, and it really does help the channel grow. Either way though, remember to save those glorious gold coins for Black Friday. Can you wait? It's right around the corner. Alright, well that's enough rambling. I'll let you get back to your day. Thanks again, and please stay safe out there. We'll let Little Man take us home as always. Bye everyone.
That's all for today's list. We hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing and liking down below. Okay, bye!